Welcome to Impostrix Podcast, where we affirm the lived experiences of professionals of color who navigate imposter syndrome and racial toxicity at work. The tools that you learn here will help you confidently address racial toxicity at work, put that imposter syndrome to the side, stand in your power, and resist racial gaslighting. I'm your host, Whitney Knox-Lee, a Black mother to Black boy children, a civil rights attorney, and an anti-racism educator and trainer. If this is your first time listening, welcome. We're glad you're here. Episodes are published every week. Make sure you go back and listen to our past episodes. All right, here we go. I'm looking forward to this conversation, and I know you're going to like it. Today's conversation is with Jesca Khembro, who is a powerful voice and model for folks of color looking to increase your income through tech. If you want to find that coin through tech and you're technically inclined, you're going to want to listen all the way through this show, because at the end of the show, I'll give you your coupon code to be able to access Technically Speaking's course offerings at a discounted price. All right, here we go. So I'm excited to have you on. Welcome.
Thank you.
I think I just want to start by having you introduce yourself. Like, who are you? What do you do? What are your identities? What's important to you?
Yes. So, hey guys, my name is Jesca Khembro, and I am a voice network engineer by trade, and I am a culinary chef by night, by passion. And yeah, I'm just here to really educate the folks and give everybody access to information. I'm all about building wealth and building the mind, and I think it starts with getting information. So I'm here for it.
So what's a voice? What do you call
Network engineer.
a voice network? This is the first time that I'm hearing this actual title. So what is a voice network engineer? What do you do?
Okay, so specifically, my core foundation, my core knowledge is network engineering, which is the network is the internet, right? It's a collection of computers talking to each other. So how we're able to be on Zoom right here, I manage that, I monitor that, I configure that. So specifically, a voice network engineer deals with voice and video. So once again, something as far as Zoom, I would configure, manage, and make sure that we're able to speak like this over a video conference system and you can hear my audio. So when I come into a company, say for example, T-Mobile, I'm here to make sure that T-Mobile callers can, FaceTime and use video conferencing software as well as speak to each other clear and the quality is good. That's my specific role in any company is internet and specifically voice over the internet specifically, right? Because I get deeper into my specifications. So yes, I know about the internet. I know how to configure and manage the internet, but more specifically, I specialize in our voice and our video going across the internet because our voice and our video, when you think about it, like, me talking to you, we were speaking face to face, that's analog, that's natural voice. So what I'm here to do is take that natural voice and translate it into technology, which is ones and zeros.
That's over my head. It really is. So I'm grateful for people like you, though. I really am, because, I every now and then I think about, like, I don't know, what if I did something else, and what would I do? Um, and I'm one of those people, like, I'm okay with tech, but the more that I have to, like, interact with it, the more that I realize that I suck at it. Um, and I just don't like.
It's layers to this. Please don't feel
Right.
that way because me being this deep in tech is still so much I don't know.
Right. And that's what I'm learning. Like, okay, yeah, I know how to use the technology that's around me. But then I come and speak to somebody like you, and it's like, I got no idea. I understand that you said my voice travels to you through Zoom, and that you got something to do with that. Like, that's what I understand.
That's all you need to know.
Right, exactly. And when I'm calling, like, the IT department because something is happening to my computer and they're, like, in it from wherever remotely, and I see their screens popping up, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what this is. Um, but one of the things that interested me about you was that you're a Black woman or African American woman. Occasionally, I see like Black men, I see Southeast Asian men who are in the tech field, which is great, but like never do I see Black women. And I never, ever see Black women with tattoos and with, natural hair. Like, I just don't, it's not like an image. That's not what I think of when I think about tech. And so I'm curious about like how you got into tech. What was your like journey there? And what's your experience been like?
I get every job, every company that I work for, they always look at me the same way. They're like, there's no way that you're in here and you know what I'm saying? Look at you.
Mm,
But I take pride in that because I'm able to be myself authentically and I'm able to come into rooms where they say I cannot be because of what I look like and I'm demanding the room. I'm actually, saying getting more of a bigger salary cut than anybody else in the room besides
mhm.
the executives, or management. So, for me, I take pride in those stares and people asking what I do and, just chin checking me really. I do not
Can-
mind saying, hey, this is who I am here, because I worked hard for this. I really made sure that I stayed disciplined and I worked harder than, what I've done in my life. So I feel like this is a big accomplishment. As far as like, my adversities or anything that I've, faced in the workspace, again, it's really just initially looking at me. I have neck
Yeah.
tattoos, face tattoos, like there's no covering up who I am and what
Yeah.
I have, so it's automatically bam in your face. And then it's like, okay, what do you have to say? And I am new to this. I did not go to school for this. I did not study long, years and months. Like I studied this information for probably about 2 months and then this is, where I'm at today. So,
Wow.
yeah. So me getting into this, I did have a lot of ignorance with, key terms and terminology,
Mhm.
but my superpower was resolving issues. So it doesn't matter that I can't talk the tech talk, but what I can
Mm.
do is I can resolve an issue. Because I know how to troubleshoot. I know how the flow of how data flows. So I just troubleshoot that. But what a lot of folks do not look like me in tech. I think is because one, a lot of Black women are into arts. We are in food and hair and fashion. You know what I'm saying? Like we want to be artsy. We're artists. We want to paint and stuff. Um, so it's just not a lot of us in STEM. And when it is in STEM, again, it's brought out. You got science, you got engineering, you got mathematics. So it's a little piece of us, everywhere. So I feel like for me, I was able to grow so quickly in this career, with this industry, because they always have to carve out for affirmative action Black women.
Mm.
So no one else is going to the plate. So here I am.
Mhm.
Might as well give me that money,
Yeah.
So it's by default, honestly.
So what? It sounds to me like you really like flipped the script on kind of the doubt or even like guilt that like I feel sometimes when I'm thinking about my role in this idea of affirmative action. And it sounds like you've really flipped that on its head. So I'm interested to hear about that.
I mean, for sure. I've really looked at it as like, I'm here for a good time, not a long time, right? I'm just here as a
Mhm.
pastor. So it really doesn't matter what legal stuff you had to come up with to get me hired. I'm here. I got the pay and I'm about to leave anyway. So I'm
Mm,
just getting my knowledge. I'm getting my money and I'm on to the next because my ultimate goal is financial stability so I
mm,
can go live the life I want to live without
yes.
having to wake up and do a 9 to 5. I take contract jobs. I always tell every job, that I'm here to help you with a project. And if you want me to continue on helping you, I can, but I can move on. Because
Mm,
again, I'm just here to make sure I get a certain, I wouldn't say income goal, but like I said, financial stability, which comes with a little more paperwork than the actual dollars. And it comes with, that knowledge. So I'm learning my own instead of, trying to hire someone to do it all for me. And then,
mm,
with me thinking about imposter syndrome, I definitely went through that in my first couple of contracts because, like I said, I literally only studied this for like 2 months. I went
Mhm.
through like a 6-month program, but the information was repetitive. And for me to get my cert, it only took me
Mhm.
30 days, but it was repetitive. So it was like 2 months in full of like hardcore training of,
Mhm.
it was like a computer science degree in 4 months. I mean, in 2 months. And, once I got into this contract that was like, okay, cool, you're a senior network engineer. This was my first job ever in tech. It's like,
Yay.
okay, what do I do? I do what? Huh? I configure what? I gotta access who?
Mhm.
It was scary. And for the first two, jobs, first two companies I worked for, I just felt like, do I deserve this?
Mm.
Um, but something changed where I I was hired by what's called like a staffing agency. But this staffing agency would teach me how to become a network engineer. So they're like, hey, I'm going to teach you how to be a position that my clients want. Okay,
Mm.
cool. So they taught me what I need to know, put it on my resume, and then showed me for their clients. And then was like, okay, cool. So the whole process was they scrambled some stuff in my head and I got to reiterate it. If I'm able to reiterate it confidently, I pass to the next stage. The
Okay.
next stage is taking interviews. Now,
Mhm.
for the interviews, they would, and this is not like a industry secret, like everyone knows it. But in the interviews, they would literally tell me what to say in the interview, right? So they'd be like, the hiring manager will probably say, well, tell me your experience or tell me this and that. And they would literally type in front of me, in front of a computer, say this. And they'll be like, I've been working as a network engineer for 5 years. Woody, woody, wood. Like, exactly. Like they go in. So cool. Then I get the job. Now, what they did was the job, they handle all the client and the back end stuff, and they pay me. That staff agency pays me. However, one day they sent me the full contract that's between them, the client and the people that hired me. And I got paid $20 an hour. When I saw the contract said $100 per hour.
Mm.
Now, this was in the middle of me working. Now, to
Mhm.
me, I'm like, hold on. Okay, $100 an hour, and you give me $20 out of that. That means you're pocketing 80. Okay, cool. I
Mhm.
don't know this. I'm a very humble person. So I feel like,
Mhm.
I do need to work my way up to get that 100 because you put me in position. Without you, I wouldn't even get to the 20. So
Yeah.
I wasn't hurt off that. But I figured if I'm doing work that's real deal, $100 an hour, why can't I just go get a job that pays me $100 an hour because I'm actually doing the work? It's not like they're doing the work. So I immediately just had like a boost of confidence. I just immediately was like,
Mm.
I'm here because I know what I'm doing. Yes, you put me in this place, but I'm continuing to be here. They could fire me today, tomorrow. They could be like, we don't want you, ain't doing it right.
Yes. They
So
could
so I
fire
kept doing
me
it.
today if they
And
weren't happy with this work.
they sure can. It's at will. I signed a contract to say at
Mhm.
will. So boom. So now that I'm working, I'm resolving issues. People are giving me praises. I go out and I find my own job. Now it takes me some time because I don't have
Yeah.
anybody telling me how to do an interview, but I
Okay.
practice enough. So I'm like, shoot, let me go out here. Let me go out here. I get my first job on my own. Now that job is only at $40 an hour, but it's double than what I was making. So I'm
Yep.
happy. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm working. And again, this is me that I got my job. So I'm, resolving issues on my own. Now I get my second job. I'm like, okay, I got it on my own. Now what? So now it's 50, So now I go up again. Every job I do, I try to do like $5, $10 and more every
Yeah.
time. Now I've only
Yeah.
been in this industry. I started this industry. My first job was March 2020. March, right when the
Wow.
pandemic
Yeah.
happened,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was there at work for 1 week, and then we had to go home because the pandemic happened and everybody had to be inside. So I literally been working remote all of my contracts, and I've literally been,
Mm.
taking my own interviews and helping, giving myself support using AI, using people that I meet, networking to help me get to again my financial stability goals.
Yes.
Um, so that imposter syndrome is definitely real. But I
Mhm.
think that as long as you do the action, as long as you out here resolving the issues, then it can't really do anything to you. I know people right now, I have friends right now that are going to get their master's degree because they want to make six figures. And here
Yeah.
I am able to make it within 2, 3 years with a high school diploma and tattoos on my face.
What?
like I I broke every barrier. So for me, that imposter syndrome is like, I mean, if y'all don't want me, y'all don't have to have me. You see me in the interview. You see my tattoos. You see how dark I am. Like you see my hair. You can say, no, I don't want to hire this one, but you hire me and you hire me at that 6-figure rate.
Right.
So I'm chilling. I come into work like, hey, this is what I do know, this is what I don't.
Yes. I love that. I love that. And so, ooh, okay, I'm trying to keep us on track, but I have like so many like branch questions. But I wanna jump to what your passion is
Okay.
because we were talking before about why you got into tech. And you were talking about like financial security, which is important to me also. My family is finally, after 10 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loans, awful. We are
hmm
finally at the point of loan forgiveness and being like truly financially stable. And so what does financial stability mean to you in terms of like what that creates then for you and your passions?
Um, okay, so starting off with my passion.
Mhm,
My number one passion is cooking good food for people, right? I
mhm,
want it to taste good and be good for them. So I'm all about coming up with recipes and different food items that are good to our taste buds, but good to our health. And
mhm,
I know a lot of times it's like healthy food is nasty food, right? Like
mm,
it's like I'm only eating for my health. But I want to enjoy food too. I don't want to just eat because I need to survive. I want to be like, I want that dopamine affection. So how do I create that without actually putting those chemicals in it? So that's kind of been my journey and what I like to do. Again, I feel that cooking is all with love and that feeling just lights me up when people enjoy my food. Passion, number one, been my passion since I can remember, right? Now, as I embark on that passion, as I come into adulthood, and I'm like, hey, I'm here to follow my dream because I was raised in a household um that encourages freedom, encourages independence.
mm,
People would say like, oh, your mom is hippie or something. And it's like,
mm,
my mom just wasn't hard on me and wasn't like cussing me out like those regular black stories that you hear. I didn't grow up like that. I didn't grow up with my mom cussing me out and calling me all type of names. Like
right,
I just did. So I
right.
can't really relate, but I understand because, I have friends and,
Yeah.
my cousins and stuff. But, just me growing up that way, it's like, do follow your passion. Like, don't get a job to work. Like, that's lame. Like, follow your passions, live, saying starving artist, right? So I go out here and I do just that. And I enjoy it. I take in and out jobs to help me fund what I do all the time, which is culinary.
Yeah.
But as I become into adulthood and like bills are real, like this is real life, right? It becomes
Yes.
hard. It's
They
like,
didn't tell
dang,
us this.
they didn't. And inflation comes into fact. And then it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I really have to take care of myself. I really have to take care of the household. I really have to take care of my life while also pursuing my dreams. And I could just imagine if I had kids involved. So it's
Mm,
like, dang, how can I get ahead of this? So for me, I was on YouTube in the podcast era. So
mhm,
they were like, hey, go get a skill, don't get a high income skill and just use that to funnel your dreams. And because how else are you going to pay for your business? You don't pay it out of your pocket. So I'm like, "So who else money I'm going to use? Okay, credit. So I don't have good credit
mhm,
and I got to get good credit, but
mhm.
good credit takes time. So in the midst of that, you got to go get a job and stay there 2, 3 years. Like that was the whole
Mhm.
thing. So for me, I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And in the midst of that, I'm going to learn how to be financially stable. I'm going to learn like, okay,
Mm,
how do you really build wealth? So that's where I get into real estate. So I end up
right.
getting some land out in Colorado so I can learn how to, go ahead and get that Airbnb or that rented out. Okay, now I'm on to the next. What else? Okay, I'm looking at annuities. I have my 401k. Can I go ahead and transfer that somewhere into like a SEP or something? Like, I'm looking at all these
Yeah.
vehicles on how I can, stay stable and pass things down.
Mm,
But in the midst of that, I've been chilling because this has been the most money I've ever made in my life.
yeah.
So I've been like chilling. I've been kind of lazy. So, I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt right now. Like you could have been on your food truck, but everything happens for a reason. I
Mm,
think that it was meant for me to like chill, like just bask in this. Like it's like you're
yeah.
always working. Like
Yes.
just your life is here. Like enjoy life. So, where I'm at right now is like, what's time to actually take this money and be like, okay, let's do something with it. Let's actually start, because I did get some investments. I did get some assets. I,
Yeah, yeah.
started some little things, some income producing stuff. And it's good and gravy, but I need to hone in on something and get it more aggressive. So that's where I'm at right now. And, again, just financial stability to me is just to where I can wake up and do what I love. And what I
Yeah.
love is cooking. And what I want to do is whatever I want to do. I don't want to have to be like, dang, it's Monday. Let me go to work at 8 and let me stay here till
Right.
4.
Right.
Or let me just, keep checking my phone just in case somebody hit me up or something. Like, no, I want to just live freely. I don't want to be on no one's time. I don't want to have to worry about, oh, let me make rent or let me check my account to make sure I got rent. Like, that's paid already. That's on auto pay and it just pays itself. Like, I ain't even thinking of it. Like, that's for me financial stability. And I've seen people be like that. And I know that I can get like that as well. And I refuse to stop until I get that.
Absolutely. And this keeps coming up, this idea of liberation. And you had mentioned it earlier, and I don't think you had said authenticity. Maybe you had, but like that's what I'm thinking of when I think about in a roundabout way, like financial stability. And for me, and for what I hear you saying is like I I recognize that I'm gonna need some money to live in this society. Like, I can't have no money and live in this society. But the way that I make money, like, the goal for me and my family is to make money in a way that we feel good about. And that when we're making that money, we can show up as authentically ourselves as we can. And so,
Mhm.
you know, it's been difficult to find those types of jobs, particularly so I'm in the legal profession. I'm an attorney, and I go to work, and the values and the norms of my workplace are white values, because this profession of the law was created to keep people like you and me not succeeding. And so this idea of, like, showing up authentically there, like, my actual workplace, I feel pretty like, "Okay, yeah, I can be myself here." But in the grander kind of, like, scheme of things of the law, it's very, conservative. Like, I cannot go to work with a tattoo on my face. I couldn't go to work with blue hair. Just recently, it kind of became, I think, appropriate or acceptable to have, like, one of the, septum piercings. But, like, and I have tattoos and my tattoos are out, but they're not gonna be out when I go to court. And so, like, for me, those parts, like, the ways that I show who I am and my identities and what I value and my passions, and if I'm passionate about, like, justice and how I show that, I wanna be able to show that authentically. And that might mean that I'm working for myself if I'm doing that, or that I'm working, um, I don't know, in a different community than what I'm in now. And I want to make it so that when I'm showing up as authentically as possible, I'm not risking making money. And so finding
Mhm.
like that balance. And what I hear
Right.
from you is that same thing. Like, you want to make money when you wanna make money, be able to enjoy the life and the lifestyle that you've, like, cultivated for yourself, and have fun living your passion, which is cooking. Um, and I
Exactly.
think, like, for me, that's a form of liberation that I'm certainly striving for, like, in my professional life, is just being able to be fully myself and trust that being fully myself isn't going to jeopardize
Mhm.
my money.
Listen. I am going to be me first. I
Mhm.
don't care about the money. The money is just here because I decide to live. If I'm going to be an American, I'm going to live that American dream, right? Like at least I'm not going to be one of those, I would say poor, broke minded Americans. I'm going to at least get
Mhm.
up to like middle class and up if I'm going to do this American thing. But if
Mhm.
I honestly don't care to do this because they're not giving me a chance because of what I decide to be who I am, then I'll leave. Like, I'll go be in the Caribbean. I'll go be in South America. I'll be somewhere where I am accepted. I'll go have my own community and live a nomad, you know what I'm saying, on my land in
Mm-hmm.
Colorado and just, thug it out there. Like, at the end of the day, I look at being myself as my number one priority. I'm going to express myself how I need to. I'm going to do what I need to do for myself first. I am, what I'm saying, it comes me. And then everything else is second. So when someone says I can't work here because my tattoos are, they don't like me because my hair is not professional or whatever the case may be, then it's fine. Like, I mean, this is a relationship. If you don't like me, I'm not going to sit here and kiss your butt for you to like
Mm-hmm.
me just for a few dollars. Like, I don't have a price on my soul. Like, I'll be out
Mm-hmm.
here not making any money because I'll start gardening. I'll start, preparing for my own, like I'll really do my own stuff, like, I don't know. I just feel that, there's a lot of people that go out here and, try to conform to a system that don't want you anyway. And I feel as
Right.
though why can't you just create your own system? Like, I'm not here to integrate. I'm here to infiltrate and then go back and build my foundation and help my people out. Again, it's all
Yes.
about accessing information. So I don't want to be on your banking system. I'm going to tell one of my friends who's a financer, create a bank and how I get in that with them so we can have our own banking system. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna bank with you. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can manage my own money or have someone in my community manage the money. I mean, that's what you do.
Yeah.
So, what I'm saying,
Yes.
why can't I do the same thing? And that's kind of like what I've been on is, just really trying to build the community up. That's why with me and my tech, I want to be like, hey, you guys, come take my place because I don't care to do this as like, I'm going to retire and stuff. Like, I don't think this is my career. This is just a job. Help me get some money to do what I want
Mm-hmm.
to do. So
Mm-hmm.
in the midst of that, I need some young ladies or some Black men to come in here and be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to become a voice network engineer. Like, I'm going to, take this torch and get the 6 figures and live my life and educate other Black girls on being in tech and being a voice engineer in tech. Like, voice is not going anywhere. What made me love, stay where I'm at, because I could have pivoted into like software developing and all this other stuff. But why I stay in voice right now, at least, is because I found out that voice over internet protocol, VoIP,
Mm-hmm.
VoIP, that was created by a Black woman. That Black woman is
What?
still alive today. Miriam Cook, go look her up. She created voice over IP. So that's why I will always advocate for Black women getting into networking and voice networking because the Black woman created this for us. Like, we should be managing
Wow.
it. We should be configuring it. This is her technology. This is her brain. And she is still alive. We can still give her her flowers today. Like,
Yes.
she's made so many protocols and how we govern and how we use the internet safely and securely. Like, that's her brain.
Okay. Y'all listeners, I'm going to put that information in the show notes because I do want to know about her. That's amazing. I love finding out stuff like that. That like, the things that we use in our daily lives that we don't even think about were made by people that look like us. What? And they say we're no good for nothing. Okay. All right.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, I love that. And that call to action for young folks and not even young folks, for people of color who are interested in getting into this
Black
line of work,
women. Black
right?
women.
Who are looking for financial stability in this world. You got Jessica over here saying, "Holla at it," And so, what's
Exactly. You
your
don't need a degree.
right?
GED, high school diploma, whichever one. All you need to succeed in this world, what I've learned, is a will. You just need the
Mm-hmm.
will. You don't need skills at all. You need skills, of course, but that is not just because you gather the skills don't mean you about to go out here and make it. You need the will. You need the determination that you're going to see your end goal. That's it. That's all you need is the will. Everything else going to
Mm-hmm.
come to you. The universe
Mm-hmm.
just gives it to you. You just somehow just pop up with just, these abilities because you set your mind to it. When they say manifestation, people are like, oh, I'm manifesting. Yeah, but you got to really speak that. You got to believe. You got to walk like it. Like, walk like
Right.
you got 6 figures. Like, act like you driving that BMW. Drive that Honda like it's a BMW. And trust me, you're going to get a BMW.
Yes. Wow. So where
Yeah.
can people find you at, Jesca?
So you can immediately find me at my website, www.technicallyspeaking.com. And then you can always come to Facebook. I prefer Technically Speaking on Facebook. I do have a personal Facebook, Jesca Khembro. I'm barely on it. It's not a lot of action, but if you want, you can, be there as well. And that's really it. Everywhere else
Mm.
is sporadic, and I send those links as I'm there in those platforms.
Mhm.
But if you want to get with me on technicallyspeaking.com. If you just want to follow me just because you like my personality, then
Yeah.
Facebook,
Yeah.
Jesca, Jesca, and then Khembro, CA, then Khembro, Khembro. So,
And
yeah,
technically is TEK.
yes, technically it's Teknik,
Right.
Technic, yeah, Technic, and then Ali, ALLY, and then speaking as regular, and then .com. I made it a little
Love
difficult,
it.
just because, I was learning a little bit about SEO and how things have to be, simple for
Mhm.
people to remember.
Mhm.
But I'm not trying to make it simple for folks to remember. Like if you're trying to change the trajectory of what's happening in the community, then you can't always have it simple and easy to
You
where
gotta work
it's
for it.
just a rhyme and a reason. Like we're not going to dance to everything. What we do
Right.
need to do is go ahead and get these skills, learn financial stability, get this
Right.
information, apply this information, and change what's going on. A lot of times I've been taking a break from like social media. I hate it sometimes just because it's like you see us, dancing and TikToking and stuff, and here we are like, oh my gosh, a black girl with tattoos is in tech. And it's like, that's so hard to believe. It's hard that I know tech just because I have tattoos. Because your image of me is me dancing. Your image of me is me cooking or doing some braids. You wouldn't think that I would know technology enough to configure it for you.
Right.
So, I think that we need to start, holding ourselves accountable to change our image in society. It's great. We are musical people, but we do other things too.
I really appreciated this conversation and I took so much out of it. I like to take notes when I'm talking to people because I get like these nuggets. And that's the point of this whole thing is to like, one, let people know that they're not alone in what they're experiencing. Two, let people know that we can literally do anything. But three, like take away some tools and some like concrete things that we can do or that we can think to ourselves or that we can tell ourselves and other people to empower ourselves and to like stand firm in our power so that we can go on to do whatever it is that we want to do. And so you had said some things, Jessica. One of them was they don't have to hire you and they don't have to keep you. Like if they don't like us, if I haven't earned my position, if I haven't like continually shown up for this job, then they can let me go. And
Mhm.
that's that. But as long as I'm still there, like how I'm going to take it is that I've earned this job and I deserve to be here. So I love that. And then you also said that you being yourself is your number one priority. And I
Mhm.
love that. I
Mhm.
absolutely love that because I think it's so important. Because if we can't be ourselves, like if we can't even be ourselves, then like what do we even have? So
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
appreciate everything that I learned from you today in this conversation. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me. Definitely grateful.
Absolutely. Okay, and it's that time that I promised at the beginning of the show. If you are interested in taking one of the course offerings with Jessica and Technically Speaking, you can go to their website, technicallyspeaking.com, and enter in the code IMPOSTRIXPOD. IMPOSTRIXPOD. This will get you 10% off of their courses. I highly encourage you to do so. Like I said, if you are somebody who is all about that tech and you're just not sure what next step to take, I think we might have found your answer today. And that's a wrap on today's show. If you enjoyed the show today, don't forget to leave me your feedback, write me a review, rate the show, and share with your community. I would love to hear from you. You can find all of my contact information, and you can find ways to support the show by donating or purchasing merchandise directly on my website, www.impostrixpodcast.com. Until next time, be validated.